What is going on, you guys? I'm coming to you today with the top 10 Armada expansions to get duplicates of. These are expansions that are good to have in multiples, and it could be because of the ship itself. It could be because of the stuff that comes in these expansions, but basically things that I think you might want to get more than one of. And I'm going to talk about why I have these on here, and there's different reasons for different ships, but or for different expansions, but we're going to talk about them. But before I get into the top 10, I do want to throw out some honorable mentions out there, and they're actually in the thumbnail here. So we do have the Chimera as one of the honorable mentions. There is some, the titles in there. I can see maybe some people wanting to get multiple Chimeras because if they want to run more than 2 Star Destroyers in a list with that title, you have that. But a lot of the stuff that comes in the Chimera, you don't really need multiples of. There's a lot of unique stuff in there. But you do get your Gauntlet Fighters in here. So maybe if you wanted more than 2 Gauntlet Fighters, I think there's some corner cases. There are a few use cases where you may want to do that. But because it's so expensive and you're getting something you may only use once in a great while, I just don't think it's that great. But I definitely can see a reason for it. But the other real reason why it's kind of harder to justify is that you're getting this awesome paint job, but it's a unique paint job. So how are you ever going to fly 2 of those, right? Also, the CR90. The CR90 is cool, but you're not getting too much really awesome stuff in there. It used to have, it used to be like the only place to get leading shots, but now that's available elsewhere. Also, you've already got a CR90 in the in the core set. So with your 1 CR90 expansion, now you're rocking 2 CR90s. It is theoretically possible to get more than 1 CR90, and I can see, or more than 2, I should say. But generally, for in this case, I don't see people running like 3 or more CR90s ever since the TRC nerf. It used to be more advisable to run a swarm of CR90s when turbo laser reroute circuits were able to be used multiple times for a ship, but now that you have to exhaust them, it's less likely now. Similarly with the Raider, I think is one of those things, like I don't think it comes with any cards that you really gotta have in multiples, but what I think, if you were going to get the Raiders, their Raiders have improved a little bit, but usually 1 Raider is enough. But if you just really wanted an extra Raider or a swarm of Raiders, I guess that could be a thing. I just think it's a good ship to do a job that you don't necessarily need more than 1 of. I have run 2 before, so it's definitely worth talking about. 2 Raiders is not a bad thing, but just didn't quite make the top 10. So coming in at number 10, and I know I talked a little bit about core set stuff, is the Victory Star Destroyer. So similar to the Raider, the Victory Star Destroyer is getting better. There's a lot of stuff that's really made it improved. There's a ton of new upgrades that really make this, and because it's a medium ship and able to fit, granted you're going to have 1 already from your core set, and you're going to have another one already from your first expansion. But why would you want to get a 3rd Victory in this case? Well, first off, you can fit lots of Victories in a build, so you can run 3 Victories and also outfit them pretty well. But what managed to get this one just barely on my list is Flight Controllers. Flight Controllers is that weapons team upgrade that allows your squadrons you activate to get an extra blue die. And that's just really good. It's a really good card. And having multiples of those allows you to go do some really nasty squadron heavy builds. And this is the only place to get that. So I really like that card as well. And this is the only place. So for that reason, if you want to go squadron heavy and you want those squadrons to really do some damage, especially if you're running, multiple carriers. Maybe you're running a Victory as a carrier also, but you've got a Quasar out there, or maybe you're running 2 Quasars, things like that. Having multiple flight controllers is really nice. So that's number 10. Next up, the Phoenix Home expansion. The Phoenix Home expansion it was a harder one, and this one is lower on the list. It's one of those things that it comes with some good cards. It comes with a lot of good cards, but I think the Phoenix Home is starting to get better. Now with Wave 7, we're seeing a lot more uses for it. We're seeing a lot more opportunities to take advantage of those black dice and the ordnance upgrade here at long range, with things like Sato and some of the new, some of the new cards that have come out in Wave 7. But you're also getting Rapid Launch Bay in here, which is a really nice one, and it's cool to be able to use multiple Rapid Launch Bays. There are a lot of builds that you could potentially do that with. So, and it's not that expensive of a ship, so I think it's a pretty good ship. I think there's more potential. I think maybe after Wave 8 or other future things come out that are going to help this a little bit more, hopefully. I have hopes that, because this is an expansion, this was at the bottom of the list for a long time. But once Wave 7 came out, this one kind of jumped up a little bit. And now it's, this is a usable expansion. Happens to come with some other good cards too. You get your flechettes in here, rapid launch bays. But I think next wave it might be even a little bit better. But some good upgrades, and the ship itself is improving a little bit. And it's cheap enough, you can easily fit them in a build. Next up, the Interdictor. Interdictor is another one of those that used to not be so good, but has recently started to get better. And with Wave 7, I think it's becoming really, really good. It's lower on the list right now because of the fact that it's really expensive. It's not the easiest thing to fit 2 Interdictors into a build. But it is doable, and it's doable, a lot. A lot of people will do this. You kind of have to commit, though. You can't casually throw them in. If you're going to put 2 Interdictors, you have to build your list all around them. And you have to make it a tanky list. And the idea here is that they're going to support each other. They're going to have a lot of engineering. You're going to put a lot of upgrades on them to really enhance that engineering value of 5. And they also come with some upgrades that are useful. You're going to get, one thing you get in here too is you get leading shots in here, which you used to only get in the CR90. So, and that's a good upgrade to get. It's not something you necessarily need a ton of. I don't usually see builds run like 3 or more versions of leading shots, but it's nice that you can have this also there. But you're getting Fighter Coordination Team, which is also only available in the Pelta before this, but you're getting Flight Commander, which is only available here. And Flight Commander and Fighter Coordination Team do work together. I would have ranked them higher before this latest FAQ, which kind of nerfed Yavaris's ability to take really good advantage of all of this. But there are other ships that still, it's still a worthwhile combo. If you're using Interdictor as a carrier, those work really, really well together too. But generally, you don't use Interdictor as a carrier as much, especially now that the Quasar is available. But they're great. Flight Commander is a good card to have, especially now with the relay nerf. I think while Flight Commander and Fighter Coordination Team work well together, I think maybe even just one of those, like Flight Commander, might be used a little bit more now. So but dual Interdictors are definitely a thing. You do have to design your build totally around it, and you're able to get some firepower out there, but you're able to be very, very tanky as well. Next up is the Nebulon B. Again, here's one that you are getting in the core set. And if you already bought your 1 expansion, that gives you 2 Nebulon Bs. People don't often run a whole lot of Nebulon Bs. I predict, and I hope this is one that changes in the future, because I have 4 of these right now, and I really want to run a huge Nebulon B swarm, but we don't have a commander that really makes this amazing. We don't have that many titles for it. I'm hoping to get a Nebulon B Aces pack soon. So why is this one on here? Well, for one, it's kind of cheap. It's a ship that can easily be fit into builds. But XI7's really strong card. It's only available here. If you were fortunate enough to get some of the XI7 promos that they were giving out in one of the OP kits, like a year and a half ago or so, something like that, then you might have some extra XI7 cards. But if you don't have that available to you, this is the only place to get XI7 turbo lasers, and that's a really good upgrade card. It's always going to be good, and it's only 6 points too, so great upgrade card. People would often buy a lot of Nebulon Bs just for the extra XI7s. And it stops you from being able to do much with redirect. It only allows you to redirect 1 point of damage. So XI7 is popular on heavy firing ships. Really, really good for those big ships that are chucking a fistful of dice. And, I got 8 damage on you. Well, you can only redirect 1. So even if you brace, I don't care. You're still going to take, 4 damage, and you can only redirect 1. So all your shields are probably down now. Or if I've already hit you before and those shields are low, you're taking all that damage to hull, or almost all of that damage to hull. Really, really effective card. Next up is the Architans. The Architans is one of those ships that, it's my favorite ship in the game, or favorite capital ship. I love it. It's the Imperial. And I just realized this is the image I have here is incorrectly worded. It says Imperial Raider expansion pack, but this is the Imperial Light Cruiser expansion pack. But the Architans is just a great ship to fly lots of. I have 5 of them myself. So on its own, the ship is really good. But one of the things that pumps it up a little bit more is the fact that it has, you know, some cards that are great. Like Damage Control Officer now, I think, is going to be more of a thing with all the extra crits. Damage Control Officer is more useful now than it ever was before. And then you're also getting Reinforced Blast Doors, which is kind of cool too, especially with the the rise in Star Destroyers and large ship use. I think it works better. I don't think Reinforced Blast Doors is a card that's really good to use on this ship itself, but I think it's a good ship to use on a good card to use on other ships. But this one is both, it's nice to get the extra, those upgrade cards that only come in this are kind of nice, but this one is more, I think, for the ship itself. It works great in groups, so like having at least 3 of these is kind of nice to have them all fly in a formation, all have their side arcs pointed at another ship. I like to run at least 4 of them in a build when I'm going to use Architans, but it's definitely one of my favorite expansions in the game. Next up, the MC30. We're getting to the best of the best right now. The MC30 is really, really a nice expansion. You're getting so many cards in here. You're getting, and you're getting a great ship that works really well in multiples. I like to run pairs of these. I have 4 MC30s. One of the main reasons you buy the MC30, though, is for the upgrade cards. So let's talk about the, we're getting Assault Proton Torpedoes, which is a very nice card, but you're getting the biggest one, I think, the most sought after in this particular expansion is Turbolaser Reroute Circuits, which is huge. Now, it was nerfed at a certain point, but again, still a great card, good on so many ships. It's good on the MC30, it's good on the CR90, it's good on the Architans, it's good on a lot of different ships. And this is the only place to get it, unless you were, again, this was another card that was put out as a promo, and and the Turbolaser Reroute Circuits is just really nice because it lets you, tap and evade to turn any die to a hit or crit, and so you'd use that on your red dice rather, and turn any red die. And so you just make it a double hit, or a crit if you really need to. Great card, but you have to exhaust it now to use it. So you can't use, it on multiple shots, but that's not really that much of a problem. It's still a great card. It's very cheap, and it goes on, it's really good on these small ships that have the ability to chuck red dice and stay at a distance and still stay maneuverable. The MC30 is great for that as well. But they do fly really well in pairs. I like to run 2 of these side by side with Riken sometimes. And so it's a good quality ship on its own, so there's nothing wrong with flying 2 or more MC30s in a build as well. So this one is got great cards that come with it, but also is a good solid ship. Next up, Imperial Fighter Squadrons. So this was kind of a tough one to go with, like the Imperial Fighter Squadrons 1 or Imperial Fighter Squadrons 2. I think the relay nerfs I've put both of the fighter squadron packs that are number 2 down a notch, so they didn't make the list. But the Imperial fighter squadrons and surprise, the next one's gonna be Rebels too. But this gives you stable core, crucial, ships. You've got your bombers here. You've got the only escort that the Empire has is in here. So you're gonna want a lot of those. And then TIE fighters are just really, really good. Granted, you're getting a bunch of TIE fighters already in the core set, which is, and I think you might between just one of these and the core set, you probably have enough TIE fighters, but so many other, your interceptors are really good, your bombers are really sought after, and then your escorts. I think bombers might be one of the most important reasons to get this. I don't really see people running that many, TIE advanced. You don't need that many escorts, but the bombers, if you're running a Reimer ball, which isn't that as common nowadays, but bombers are cheap and they're effective, and sometimes people like to run a lot of them. You need this for that. Same thing with interceptors. Interceptors are really nice. There's a lot of stuff now that increases counter even more. People are going to want a lot of these for that. And then, but the Imperial Fighters 2, I just put down a notch because a lot of those ships are more expensive, so you don't have as many room. You're not going to, whereas you might run like 6 bombers in a build, you're probably less likely to run like 6 decimators. Although, in theory, if you want to go crazy, let's go crazy. Rebel Fighters is then the next one, and I gave Rebel Fighters a little bit more of an they're about at the same spot. I pushed Rebel Fighters a little bit higher up in the list just because the Imperials get like 2 extra squadrons more so than the Rebels do in the core set. So so the Rebels kind of needed the squadron help maybe just an ounce more than the Empire does. But again, you're getting core ships here. You're getting Y-Wings, which are really strong, A-Wings, which are solid. A-Wings won the first World Championship, I believe. And then B-Wings, which are now better than ever with all the movement enhancement and all the speed boosts that are out there. So Rebel Fighter Squadrons, great pack. Again, similar thing like why I didn't go with Rebel Fighter Squadrons 2. While that's still a good pack, and you do have the Z95s that are in there, and so that kind of makes you kind of want to get some of those extras for the cheap Z95s. You also have a lot of stuff in there that people definitely don't want to fly. Like E-Wings aren't very popular right now. You don't really need that many ghosts, especially with the relay nerf. Like the ghost is worse than ever. I mean, Hera is good, but you only need one of her. So you're not getting a whole lot of crucial stuff in that pack. But this one's more important. The Rebel Fighter Squadron pack is definitely important. A-Wing's really good, B-Wing's really good, Y-Wing's really good. You've already probably got enough X-Wings, but you're getting core, very important squadrons. Next up is the Profundity expansion pack. So now this one was a tough one. We're at number 2 right now, by the way. The Profundity expansion pack is a tough one because it's a little bit more expensive. It's one of those larger ships. But it comes with so much good stuff. And of course, and what's also really cool about this one is it's a very well-rounded ship. It can do so many different things. It's defensive, it's got dice everywhere, it's really strong in the front, it's really strong in the sides. It can be good at long range, it can be even deadlier at close range. It's fast. For the ship of its size, it's pretty fast. It's got decent maneuverability. It's well-rounded and it's great. And you can run 2 of them in a build, no problem. But you've got some great upgrade cards in here that you really may want to use multiples of. My favorite of which is the heavy ion emplacements. That one is giving you that amazing blue crit ability, and it's like definitely the best card, or one of the best cards to put on the ion cannon upgrade slot. But then you're also getting like other really cool cards like Ordnance Pods and Wide Area Barrage. Just really, really good Ordnance upgrades. Just cool stuff here. You are getting a couple of MC-30 turrets, or I'm not sorry, titles. The Expedition Fleet. So for any MC, so if you're running a lot of like MC-30s too, you may want more than 2 for that, so you can kind of spread out your MC titles. But really, I think the upgrades that come in here, especially those those Ordnance and Ion Cannon upgrades are really good. But the fact that you can use 2 in a build and have it be a strong build is also that much better. Love the Profundity expansion. It's a little harder to afford though because it's a little more expensive, but you're getting an awful lot in this expansion. And the number 1 is going to be the Rogues and Villains Squadron expansion. Now, the number 1 expansion to get multiples of, I think this one is. There's so many reasons to get multiples. First off, this has stuff for both sides. So no matter which faction you play, this has got something for it. But it only comes with 1 of any given ship. And so the fact that it comes with a single Millennium Falcon model, but 2 different Millennium Falcon cards, or a YT-1300 and then Han Solo and the Millennium Falcon, by design, you have to get multiples of this, virtually, if you want to be able to field everything that comes in it. So there's that aspect. But also there's so many really, like every single thing in here is really, really good. Virtually. I can say maybe the non-unique aggressor, the regular IG-2000, not the IG-2000, but the regular aggressor might not be that great. Or maybe the YT-1300 is just okay. But for the most part, just about every single card in here is amazing. And you're getting intel in here. You're for both factions. This is your place to get intel, but you're only getting 1. And a lot of times, a lot of builds want more than just a single source for their intel, especially since there's now some stuff to potentially deal with intel. Intel is probably still since Relay has been nerfed, Intel's the most powerful, in my opinion, squadron keyword in the game. So Intel is huge and has never been more important than it is now, since everybody's actually going to be closer and tighter together now. So Intel, incredibly huge. You get your fire sprays are awesome. Boba Fett's one of the best squadrons in the game. Bosk, amazing. People are afraid to shoot at Bosk. IG-88 ignores counter, and I freaking love that. And Dengar is, synergizing with all the new stuff they have right now. Han Solo is expensive, but he can do a triple tap if you ADAR Talon him, and then activate him again, and then activate him first. Han Solo can do all kinds of crazy tricks. Very, very fun. Jan Or's insane. The possibilities with Jan are absolutely ridiculous. Both of the Skurg versions, Skurgs are really, really nice. But arguably better than B-Wings, and that's saying a lot. The YT-1300 or the YT-2400s, Dash, and the regular generic YT-2400s, amazing Rogue ships. Rogue is Rogue. This is where Rogue came out. That's this keyword. And it's just a really powerful. I think Rogue is going to be stronger now than it was before too. Also, since Relay has been introduced, this expansion is just fire. You're going to want lots of these. I think I have 5 of these expansions. I got a lot of them. I got more than I probably need, but I have used, like 5 fire sprays on a build before. Just really, really fun to run a whole bunch of rogues and not have to worry about issuing them squadron commands. And there's so many clutch, important ships in this pack, and it's got something for everybody. So that's my number 1. Let me know in the comments, guys. I have another thing to tell you guys. We have a winner for a giveaway, because I was about to tell you, oh yeah, there's still a round of the giveaway going on right now. But no, that round is over. We have a winner. So Andrew Walker, you are the winner of a $20 Cool Stuff gift card. So thank you so much, and make sure you send me a message on the back end of my channel, and I can get your contact information. We can get you squared away. But yes, those giveaways are running all the time. So I usually announce the winners at the end of the video, about like this. But stay tuned. The next one will be starting up very soon, and that's how it works, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And let me know what you think down in the comments below. Did I get stuff out of order? Did I not include something that you think I should have included? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a great day.